Hello everyone and welcome back to the VFA Global Cup. Qualification Round 1 is officially complete. We had 32 matches played across 6 match days. 5 days had 5 matches each, and then the final day we had 7 matches to close out the round. And honestly, for the first proper round of this tournament, I think it really delivered. So we had penalties, we had late winners, we had big favorites going out early, we had underdogs stepping up, and a few teams that already look like they could be dangerous in qualification round 2. So in this video, I just want to go through the full recap of Q1 day by day, look at the biggest results, the biggest surprises, and talk about which clubs are moving forward. Also, just to clarify quickly before we start, every match in qualification round 1 was played at Aloha Park in EAFC 26. So there was no home and away advantage. Every game was played at a neutral venue on legendary difficulty, 4 minutes per half, with things like weather and ball settings set to random. So with that out of the way, let's start with match day 1. So the tournament opened with Hajduk Split against Shanghai Port, and the first ever VFA Global Cup qualification match finished 1-0 for Hajduk Split. It was a tight game, not too many goals, but Hajduk did enough to become the first club to move into qualification round 2 with a goal from Livaya. After that, we had a Scandinavian matchup between Midtjylland and Malmö. This was another close one, but Malmö managed to get the goal they needed and move forward. Not the craziest match of the round, but a solid win for the Swedish side. Then we had Al Ittihad against Stade Rennes, and this one went all the way. The match finished 0-0, and then Rennes survived on penalties. Al Ittihad had a stronger name value going into it, but Rennes held on and won the shootout 4-3. After that, AZ Alkmaar beat Apoel 2-0. This was probably the first match where a favorite looked really comfortable. AZ controlled the game, scored twice, and moved on without too much drama. And then the final game of match day 1 was the biggest win of the day. We had River Plate beat Shamrock Rovers 4-0. River looked really strong here. 4 goals, complete control, and probably the first team in the tournament that made a proper statement. So after day 1, we already had a good mix. Close games, we had some penalties, and one dominant performance from Argentinian side River Plate. Next up, match day 2 started with Jagiellonia against Servette. This was another match that finished 0-0, and once again we went to penalties. And the Polish side Jagiellonia won the shootout 4-3 and became the next Polish club to move forward. After this one, we had one of the non-European matchups, Al Ahly against Mohun Bagan. The Saudi Arabian club won 1-0, which meant the only Indian club in the tournament was eliminated pretty early. It was not a crazy scoreline, but Al Ahly did the job and moved on. After that, we probably got one of the best matches of the whole first round. It was Royal Union against Aberdeen. The match finished 2-2 and it had everything. Goals, drama, and a ridiculous free kick that might still be one of the best goals of Q1. Aberdeen fought hard, but Royal Union survived on penalties and moved into the next round. Then we had one of the first major shocks of the tournament. We had FC Basel beat LOSC Lille 1-0. Lille were actually one of the strongest rated clubs in qualification round 1, maybe even the strongest depending on the EAFC 26 ratings. So I expected them to go through, but Basel defended well, took their chance, and knocked them out. That was a proper upset. And then the final match of the day was Jeonbuk Hyundai Motors against Minnesota United. The match finished 0-0, but the penalty shootout was absolute madness. Minnesota United won it 10-9 on penalties. Even the goalkeepers had to take shots. It just kept going and going. And in the end, match day 2 gave us some of the best drama of the whole round. We had Royal Union versus Aberdeen, Basel knocking out Lille, and Minnesota surviving one of the longest shootouts so far. Match day 3 started with CA Belgrano against Hammarby. Hammarby won 2-0 with Abraham scoring both goals. A clean and very professional win from the Swedish side, and Belgrano were out. Then came probably the best game of matchday 3. SK Rapid Vienna against Victoria Plzeň. This was a proper thriller. Plzeň were slight favorites and they actually went 1-0 up, but Rapid Vienna came back, turned the game around to 2-1 for them, then Plzeň equalized for 2-2, and finally Rapid scored again late in the match to win 3-2. That was one of those games where the momentum just kept switching. After that, Shandong Taishan played Al Qadsiya. This one went to extra time. It was 0-0 for the full 90 minutes, and Shandong probably had a decent argument that they deserved more from the game. But in the extra time, Al Qadsiya got the goal, officially counted as an own goal, and they went through with a 1-0 win after extra time. Then we had Rangers against Legia Warsaw. Rangers won 1-0. It was not the most exciting match, but Rangers were the better team overall and deserved to move on. And the final game of the matchday 3 gave us another big surprise. Hearts beat Feyenoord 1-0. So Feyenoord were one of the strongest clubs in round 1, and I definitely expected them to go further. But Hearts defended well, took their chance and knocked them out. So by the end of the matchday 3, we already had Lille and Feyenoord out of the tournament. And that is exactly why these qualification rounds are pretty interesting. Matchday 4 opened with MacArthur FC against Inter Miami. MacArthur were one of the lowest rated clubs in the competition, so Inter Miami were expected to win, and they did. It finished just 1-0 with DePaul scoring the only goal. And then we had Al Ain against RB Salzburg. Al Ain actually scored first, but Salzburg responded really well and ended up winning 3-1. Based on ratings, Al Ain had some strong attributes, but Salzburg played much better in-game and looked like the strongest side overall. After that, we had Olympique Lyonnais beat FCSB 1-0. I expected Lyon to win by more, to be honest. They were clearly one of the stronger teams in this stage, but Romanian FCSB made it difficult. In the end, Lyon still got the result and moved on. And then came one of the biggest underdog moments of the whole qualification round 1. Helsinki beat NEC Nijmegen 2-1. Helsinki were one of the lowest rated teams in the entire tournament, maybe even the lowest rated club in the full competition based on EAFC ratings. But ratings are not everything. So they played a really good game, they scored twice and knocked out NEC. That was one of my favorite results of Q1 because it showed that this tournament can actually create some proper surprises. And then we ended the day with Ajax against Buriram United. And this game was way closer than you would expect. Buriram actually took the lead, then Ajax equalized, then Buriram scored again to make it 2-1. At that point, it really looked like Ajax might be in trouble. But Ajax came back late, they made it 2-2, and then Weghorst scored near the end to complete the comeback. Final score, Ajax 3, Buriram United 2. Probably the best game of matchday 4. Matchday 5 was a little different because every match had a winner in normal time. So no penalties, no nil-nils, just straight results. First, Dinamo Zagreb beat FC Lugano 2-0. Very solid performance from Dinamo, Beljo and Zajic scored and the Croatian side moved comfortably into round 2. Then came another big result. Neom SC beat Club Brugge 1-0. This was a serious result because Bruges were one of the stronger teams in this round, but Lacazette scored the winner for Neom and Club Brugge were out. After that, Rosenborg beat Universidad Católica 1-0. Universidad Católica were slight favorites, at least based on ratings, but Rosenborg played well and got the job done. Then we had Lech Poznan against Estudiantes. This one finished 2-1 for Estudiantes. Estudiantes scored first, Lech equalized from a penalty, and then late in the match, just few minutes from the end, Benedetti scored the winner. That was a tough match, but Estudiantes showed character and moved on. And the final match of match day 5 was Racing Club against FC Copenhagen. Racing were slight favorites by rating, but Copenhagen were excellent. They won 2-0, and honestly, with the rain and the cold conditions, maybe they just felt right at home. So match day 5 gave us another few strong stories. Dynamo looked good, Neom knocked out Bruges, and Copenhagen made a real statement. And then came the final day of the qualification round 1. 7 matches and the last 7 places in round 2. We started with BSC Young Boys against Karabakh. Young Boys won 1-0 with the only goal coming from a penalty. The interesting thing is Karabakh also had a penalty which they missed. So not the most exciting game, but at this stage it does not matter how you win. They're through, and that's what matters. Then came one of the biggest surprises of the entire round. Genk beat Monaco 2-0. AS Monaco were one of the highest rated clubs in qualification round 1, and honestly I expected them to win this match, probably with a lot of goals. But Genk played an unbelievable game. They scored twice, kept a clean sheet, and knocked Monaco out. Huge result. After that, Bode Glimt beat Hibernian 2-0. Bode Glimt have been strong in real life recently in the Champions League as well, so I expected them to be dangerous here. And they delivered a professional performance, they beat the club from Edinburgh and moved on. Then we had Viking FK against Panathinaikos. This one finished 1-0 for Panathinaikos. It was a close match and I thought it could go either way, but the Greek side found a goal and survived. After that, Dynamo Kiev beat Los Angeles FC 1-0. LAFC were the higher rated side, so this was another upset. Shaparenko scored a goal and Dynamo Kiev moved into qualification round 2. Then we had Dynamo Bucuresti against Aarhus. Dynamo Bucuresti had already needed a preliminary match just to get into round 1, and now they're still alive. They won 1-0 with Soro scoring the winner. That is actually a really nice storyline already for the team from Romania. And finally, the last match of the round was FC Seoul against PAOK. And this was a big one. PAOK were the stronger team on paper, but FC Seoul completely shocked them. They won 3-0 with Song-min Kyu scoring twice. And honestly, that was one of the most impressive performances of the whole first round. So FC Seoul closed qualification round 1 in style. And that's it. So qualification round 1 of the VFA Global Cup is complete. 32 matches played, 32 clubs eliminated, and 32 clubs moving on to qualification round 2. Overall, I'm really happy with how this first round went. We had big favorites going through, but we also had some major upsets. Lille are out, Feyenoord are out, Monaco are out, Club Bruges are out, and PAOK is out. And on the other side, clubs like HJK Helsinki, Hearts, Genk, FC Seoul, Basel, Neom, and Dynamo Kiev all created big moments. And that is exactly what I wanted from this tournament. A mix of realistic results and completely unpredictable ones. Now the next step is qualification round 2. The 32 winners from this round will be joined by 32 new clubs from the higher ranked leagues. That means the level is going up. The matchups are going to get harder and the clubs are going to get stronger. And the road to the playoff round officially begins. The next video on the channel will be the qualification round 2 draw. So stay tuned for that because there are some really interesting matchups to be made. Thank you so much for watching and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.